What do you know? Fucking boomer politicians who are trying to censor and regulate tech have zero understanding of the tech they're trying to censor and regulate. Senator Blumenthal is super mad that Zoom isn't actually offering the end-to-end encryption that his own law will outlaw. Yup, these politicians are that stupid. Dick Blumenthal has been attacking internet services he doesn't understand since before he was even a U.S. senator. It is carried over into his job as a senator and was abundantly obvious in his role as co-sponsor for FOSTA. His hatred of the internet was on clear display during a hearing over FOSTA, in which he flat out said that if smaller internet companies couldn't put in place the kind of infrastructure required to comply with FOSTA, then they should go out of business. And meanwhile, if we say the same thing about the government, we're branded as terrorists. It's funny how that works. So Blumenthal's latest ridiculous bit of legislation, lose your Section 230 protections. Yep. And while Blumenthal likes to pretend that the Earn It Act doesn't target encryption, he also lied about FOSTA and insisted it had no impact on CDA 230, which it directly amended. Yeah, no impact whatsoever. But Dick has now taken his ridiculousness up a notch. Following the legitimately concerning reports that the suddenly incredibly popular video conferencing software Zoom was not actually providing end-to-end encrypted video chats, despite its marketing claims, Dick decided to step in and play the hero, sending an angry letter to the company. Yeah, let me wag my finger at you very sternly. That's your punishment. While linking to The Intercept's original story about Zoom's misleading claims about encryption. Millions of Americans are now using Zoom to attend school, seek medical help, and socialize with their friends. Privacy and cybersecurity risks shouldn't be added to their list of worries. I'm calling for answers from Zoom on how it handles our private data. And then he puts the letter he sent out, which, we're not going to... Yeah, we're going to read parts, and we're going to read the highlights, but I'm not going to go through that whole thing. It is horrible. The letter highlights a number of recent claims that have been made about Zoom's security and privacy practices, some of which are very significant and a few that aren't as big of a deal, including the end-to-end encryption claims. Does Zoom provide end-to-end encryption as the term is commonly understood by cybersecurity experts for video conferences? Please describe when end-to-end encryption is available for users and how the personal data is encrypted. As if you even knew what encryption was. And this is a legit question, and I think it's good that a senator is asking it. I just think that this particular senator is the wrong messenger, given his active role in trying to make it impossible for companies like Zoom to offer end-to-end encryption in the first fucking place. As Rihanna Pfefferkorn, the Associate Director of Surveillance and Cybersecurity at Stanford Center for Internet and Society, pointed out, you are a co-sponsor of a bill that everyone, including you, knows is a Trojan horse for banning end-to-end encryption. Your bill would force Zoom to do a crappy job protecting privacy and security. Hey, but he's not going to let that get in the way of his virtue signaling, though. And it gets worse. As Pfefferkorn points out, Blumenthal's claims to be so concerned about cybersecurity and privacy ring hollow when just last month he straight up claimed that you have no rights to privacy online. So let's see. Senator Blumenthal's pretending to care about your privacy online. Last month, he took the position that you have no rights to privacy online. Here's where he says so. And you got a nice little snippet right there. In the Ackerman opinion cited by tech companies as raising Fourth Amendment concerns, Gorsuch suggested that the third-party doctrine will prevent evidence of CSAM found by a company that privately searched. When a company has terms and conditions that enable it to privately search, there is no Fourth Amendment violation because users lose their reasonable expectation of privacy. Gorsuch stated that the Supreme Court has, after all, suggested that individuals lack any reasonable expectation of privacy and so forfeit any Fourth Amendment protections in materials they choose to share with third parties. Yeah, and Blumenthal agreed with that. This was in a weak attempt to respond to concerns raised by the Earn It Act. In one of the responses concerning government mandates for scanning content and how that interacts with the Fourth Amendment, Blumenthal, quoting Neil Gorsuch, here's where the support comes in, claims that there is no reasonable expectations of privacy for any content you put online. And of course, Pfefferkorn further points out Blumenthal's broken analysis of the Ackerman opinion leaves out some important information. Yeah, when have these guys ever... Have you guys ever known an honest politician? Now, seriously, answer me. Have you ever known an honest politician? But still, Blumenthal seems to constantly be talking out of both sides of his mouth. He doesn't believe in an expectation of privacy for content posted online, but he also wants to slam a company for not keeping information private. He doesn't want companies to have end-to-end encryption, but he's angry at Zoom for not having end-to-end encryption. And that's not the end of the problems with Dick's approach here. While some of the privacy concerns he raises are legit, no one's going to take him seriously, though, given that he wants to make the problem worse, he lumps them in with ones that are not. For example, four reasons that make no sense at all. He seems to think the relatively new practice of Zoom bombing, in which often racist trolls, of course, from the worst parts of the internet find publicly linked Zoom events and pop in to be total assholes, is on par with other often legit security questions raised by Zoom security practices. Yeah, I mean, trolling is not the same as identity theft. Right after his questions about end-to-end encryption, he asks, what measures has Zoom put in place to detect and prevent Zoom bombing, intrusions, and abusive targeting Zoom meetings? What are the policies governing such abusive behavior? What detection mechanisms are in place? How can users report abusive intrusions, and how quickly does Zoom respond to such incidents? Oh, shit. I'm just waiting till the day that I make something that actually attracts enough some attention from these fucking worthless politicians, and they try virtue signaling at me. Knowing me, I'd probably just tell them to go sit and spin and get called into a hearing or something as a result. But that could be fun. Fuck, I'd stream it myself. Let's see. While there are plenty of questions about how companies can deal with such things, this is not an issue that is under the government's purview. I agree. Indeed, as annoying as Zoom bombing is, and as quickly as I'm sure Zoom has been working on technology tools to allow meeting hosts to deal with the issue, most Zoom bombing is still First Amendment protected speech, and a senator has no business insisting that Zoom silence such activities. Oh, they don't give a fuck about the Constitution. They haven't for a long time. The fact that obscenity laws are still on the books is proof that they don't give a fuck about the Constitution. And yet, that seems to be exactly what he's focusing on doing. I am calling on Zoom to take urgent and aggressive action to stop the racist trolls and peddlers of hate that are silencing and bullying communities. You are probably one of the biggest offenders in silencing and bullying communities. Okay, I'll just stop it there. Check out these steps from the Adult Diaper League on protecting yourself. Now, the Adult Diaper League is a full-blown fucking hate group. You do not want to be using anything that they put out. In that twat, he says, what we just read, the First Amendment, the one you swore to defend, might want to have a word with you about that, Senator. I'm all for Zoom coming up with tools for users of its service to help prevent such trollish behavior. Like private fucking meetings. But seriously, these kinds of stunts are not at all new on the internet. Have been around for literally decades. But that's something these boomers have no knowledge of. They've never even seen the internet. They don't even know what a website is. That doesn't make the juvenile behavior any less annoying or problematic. You just had to use that word. But it's not the role of any government official to insist that a company censor people for protected speech, no matter how trollish. Now, that is true. If only big tech took that lesson to heart. That'd be nice. Separately, of course, this ignores that Zoom has already put in place a detailed plan of how to stop Zoom bombing over a week before Blumenthal sent the letter. As usual, the politicians are showing up after the problem has already been solved. They make it a problem again, and then they put themselves up as the solution. That's common government practice right there. The company still could do more, and it's worth noting that it has since released a detailed plan to deal with the newly raised security and privacy concerns, including a 90-day freeze on all future developments to have engineering teams focus on privacy and security issues. That didn't take Senator Blumenthal's grandstanding. And, of course, if Blumenthal's Earn It Act passes, that would make Zoom's job that much more difficult. Good luck doing end-to-end encryption when it's banned. I know that Senator Dick loves to grandstand over tech issues, but it might help if he understood the technology, the law, and the Constitution before making such a fool of himself. Well, no matter how much of a fool of himself he makes, what does it matter? What's anyone going to do? Is he going to lose his job over this? No, I bet by the time he's up for re-election, everyone in his party is going to be, he's better than voting for someone in the other party, even though they could have ousted his bitch ass during the primaries, but of course, never going to happen. Unfortunately, for over a decade, he's shown a decided lack of interest in doing any of those things, and I guess he has no intention of starting now. Sick burn, but absolutely fucking true. This clown is just going to keep doing this until he loses his fucking seat, as he should have a long fucking time ago. And that's it for that. Oh man, I am so excited to tell you guys right now that finally, after about a year of build-up and shilling, we have launched Blade Devil on Indiegogo, and so far it is doing so well thanks to awesome people like you. If you haven't backed it yet, then please check the links in the description and check out Blade Devil on Indiegogo. You will not be disappointed. Looking forward to seeing you there.